afternoon. It's your boy Terrence Cummings, aka the Music Master, here in lovely Tupelo, Mississippi. I have one of my good friends, brother, a guy who's been with me a very long time, the maestro, the Music Master himself, Mr. Willie Geis.
Hello everybody, how you all doing?
Mr. G, so today it's the start of 2025. You've been teaching and instructing students for a very long time. What can parents and students expect coming into Tupelo Music Academy, coming into your class this year?
Basically, what we're going to be teaching is that fundamentals of music. That's going to be one of the first things that we will be teaching our students. They will be learning notes, they'll be learning staves. They will be doing basic music theory, and then we'll also, just teach them, how to play and to have discipline with their playing. Discipline is very important. Practicing is very important. Young people, you have got to practice. You know what practice does. Practice builds confidence, and practice makes perfection.
Hey, that's something that we talk about often here at Tupelo Music Academy is practice, and that correlates to confidence. I like what Mr. G just said. You're coming in, you're going to get the basics, you're going to know what you're playing, but we're also looking to have a whole lot of fun, because when you practice and you have the confidence, it makes playing music so much more enjoyable. So Mr. G, so in your class, we have students that have been with you over a year. We've had students that have just started with you. What are some things that maybe coming in a piano class they wouldn't expect, but hey, I didn't know this was a part of piano. Something different. Could you tell me something that you would bring to the class that they might not expect?
I would teach, just basic. Like a bunch of students, they know their majors, but they don't know their relative minors. They don't know Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, and Aeolian modes. They don't know this. We will be teaching, a little bit of analysis. Analysis is just knowing why this is this. Why is, for example, why is this chord part of this key when it is not? Just basic, theory, science.
Yeah.
And that's what theory is, the science of music, knowing what and why you are playing what you are playing.
All right. So you hear it here from Tupelo Music Academy. We are starting our January. Today was our first day back. We've had our break. Going into Mr. G's class, we have several teachers that teach here, but going into his class, theory is definitely going to be the foundation to get you where you want to go. Mr. G, if someone is thinking of taking piano lessons, what would you encourage them to do?
First of all, encourage. To know the simplicity of it. To know that this is this what you want to do. That's one of the first things, and then I would start them to learning the treble clef. Now you have some students that know treble clef, but they don't know bass clef.
Right.
And my thing is to teach them what they don't understand and what they don't know. If they don't understand either, then that's what we do here.
Right. We're here to help.
Yes, we're here to help you.
Okay, so you heard it from Mr. Geis. He's one of our master teachers here at Tupelo Music Academy. If you're looking for piano or voice, he is one of the teachers who will instruct you. You'll have a lot of fun in the class. You'll get a lot of information. Registration is open for students who are looking to take piano, voice, strings, and everything in between. We teach guitar, band instruments, everything. But for this particular class, it's piano and voice with Mr. G. I appreciate him coming out. He's been with me a very long time. Always have been a blessing to the Music Masters program and now the Tupelo Music Academy program. So we appreciate you, Mr. Geis.
Thank you.
And we're gonna catch a little him on piano in just a few moments. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Welcome to Tupelo Music Academy 2023. We got into the building around November-ish last year. And of course, we had the walls and stuff and the rooms that we had in the building. And so we knew we wanted to make some changes in there. Change the room, take away that dark brown. So we went and gathered some paint, started doing some work early this year, and made some changes within the building to reflect our brand. And so now we're presenting where we are now. We have the blue and gold rose. Club keyboard that room has changed. My office area has changed. Shred squad room and the drum drill room change, and we're just getting ready for 2025. Hey, what's up? This is Terrence Cummings, aka the Music Master, coming from lovely Tupelo, Mississippi, home of Tupelo Music Academy. We're actually in the academy today. I got a really, really good friend here. This is Thad Witherspoon. This guy right here, we've been together in church and from the Music Masters days. One of the true Music Masters, good friend, has always kept up with me. I got a lot of respect for him. We have wanted to do this for a long time.
Right.
Long time.
Forever.
Yeah. So now we got an opportunity to do it, and he's going to have some gems. Now, the thing about it is, we're going to try to cut it, because when me and Thad get on the phone, our smallest time is 2 hours.
Right.
2 hours.
Yeah.
But
we ain't gonna do y'all like that.
Yeah, not tonight. We're gonna dive on in. Thad, for those who don't know you in the Tupelo Music Academy world, Team Music Masters, introduce yourself. Tell a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Thaddeus Witherspoon. I'm from the Tupelo area. Grew up around here. Me and Terrence been knowing each other since the 90s.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah, we don't want to tell how old we are, but I mean, you see the beard on my face.
Yeah, see that gray.
But I'm from the area, man. Tupelo, my home. Grew up at Emmanuel Church of God in Christ, playing drums, and I was blessed and fortunate to move to Nashville and get into some more industry type things in terms of playing drums and producing. So, yeah, that's where I am right now. 16 years later, I'm there. So, yeah.
Well, that would come down to Music Masters. Now, for those who don't know, my very first school was called Music Master Studio. And Thad was a teacher there. And there were times he would teach, but then there were times he was just down there. And Thad would go in the drum room, and put on a CD, a Dave Weckl, or whatever he found, and play it over and over and over. And he would get down there at 3 o'clock. I would close 8:39. That's when he would come out the room.
Right.
Come out the room. So that speaks volumes of your work ethic. So tell a little bit, how you got in the drums and your musical journey. How did you jump in?
Man, I grew up, my mom said I came out playing drums, so I really can't tell you when I started, but I grew up playing at Emmanuel, Church of God in Christ on North Green Street. My family, as a lot of people may know, had a restaurant on Green Street. So my whole life was pretty much on North Green Street. My uncle had a record store at Green and Bond Street right there. And my dad lived right by the tank, for you that know, right there on Green Street. And musical journey is it ain't complex, but it got a lot to it.
Yeah.
I grew up Kojic, but I was at my uncle's record store playing hip hop and things like that. Got my first drum set at 12 years old. My dad was a singer, but he was also a DJ. So so all of the old school vinyl stuff, Temptations and Average White Band and EWF.
A whole eclectic mix.
Right. So that's how I started, man. Really my roots was in church, man. I played, came up in the devotion, testimony service era, the way they would sing a song for the same song for an hour or so.
Right.
So
this repetition.
Right. So my dexterity had no choice but to get better. But I appreciate Terrence for calling me and to do this interview, man, because we've been friends for a while, and he used to let me just kind of work out my chops. Now, I didn't think I was a teacher at all. I knew I could play, but he actually helped me get into that teacher mode, and he's always been a person that wanted to help the music community in Nashville. In Tupelo, I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I always felt like education would help us, and then it don't always. And I've said this in my interviews. I've said this in different videos. You don't learn just one way. Right. It ain't just band. It ain't just church. You learn in a whole different. A lot of different ways. Mm-hmm. And the one reason why we started Music Masters was to give people an opportunity to learn, but I also wanted to create community with musicians, because a lot of the guys like you and my brother-in-law Chris Parks and Buddy and just certain ones at that time, Chris Hatchett, a lot of those people filtered through and would play down there. Ms. Zen, Walter Zen's walk. Yeah. Those people passed through Music Masters, and it was an opportunity. So with Tupelo Music Academy, I wanted to create the same thing. So, Thad, we deal with a lot of young people here at the Academy. Mm-hmm. One of the biggest things that we talk about is practice. Man. And we don't harp on it because we want to create an environment that's fun. Right. But could you give a take on how you approached it when you were playing?
Well, in terms of practice, for me, I didn't. It was more repetition for me growing up. I didn't have a drum set, like I said, till I was 12, and I couldn't have it at home because my mom wasn't gonna let me play. But our church needed a drum set, so I had my drum set at the church. But I always had the opportunity. My pastor, Elder Jeremiah Penrose, he always opened up the church for us. He let us have a key. Mm-hmm. We would go in, man, and just play till till we
play
got
all
time.
night. Yep.
My grandmother used to call the church and tell me to come home because I'd been up there too long. But it actually kept me out of a lot of trouble,
Right.
Because I played it a lot. But in terms of like practicing technique and things of that nature, man, I didn't do a lot of that in terms of specific things that I need to practice. My practice was always at church,
right?
Just kind of working on things that I knew how to do, and some things I need to work on a little bit more better. But in terms of, the young kids today, church kids can't get in church like that now, because of, the situation, church getting bigger. And there ain't a whole lot of small churches like what we come up in, but you should, and I don't want to jump in front of you.
No, go ahead.
The thing about being reared in this area is because we lack a lot of resources. We didn't have a lot, so that developed our sound. We had a sound because we didn't have a lot to work with, and we made it our own.
Yeah, Well, that was the thing to do, because I remember I didn't think about. Somebody asked me about it. One of my own students asked me about it, and I said, practice to me was fun because I was figuring stuff out and what it is, and I would play David Sanborn tapes over and over till I tore them up, open them up, tape them up, and play them again. And then the CDs, and it was. So I never thought about practice as drudgery. Right. So it was fun, and then when you got to church, of course, praise and worship gonna last about 3 hours. Yeah, and you get those reps. You get those reps.
Yeah, every week.
Yeah, every week. For years.
Right. It wasn't no same, because if you was a keyboard player and you couldn't play in the key, well, in testimony service in Pentecostal church back in the day, Mother Johnson is gonna get up and sing in B.
Yep. So you might want to get right.
Every week you might not get it that time, but every week you're gonna have a chance to play in B good. Ain't no transpose button, ain't nothing, you gotta find your way through the song. You might not know the song, so you in a key you can't play in, and you learn the song too. So it's those things that I think in the black community as a whole, probably all over the world, that we have. But I think now you got a lot of exposure in terms of YouTube and TikTok, and musicians are seeing guys play things because they see their limbs moving, so their ears are not getting developed. See, when we was coming up, we couldn't see nobody. We had to have a photographic memory. We had to hear what they were saying in real time. It wasn't no slowing down, no licks.
I remember this one catalog, and it had this Tascam cassette thing that you could slow the tape down so that you could. And this thing was like $500 back in the day. Now, of course, you can slow down YouTube and do all kinds of stuff. But you're right. The ear. I know when I first got my EWI from Mr. Fears at Tupelo High. Yeah, didn't know how to play. Didn't know how I was gonna put it in church, but because we had so much time and so much time to work, by the time that year I had worked it in church, knew how to do sounds, and because you got that opportunity. That's what I want to create here, is an opportunity for students to pick up things. So going back, that when I asked this question to Jermaine, if you had to start over, what would you do different on your musical journey?
Man, I would learn how to read, for sure. It was hard to learn how to read because my ear was so strong. I would pick up, but when I got to Nashville, the jobs that was there in terms of studio musician was reading, not just chart reading, but full music. Now, I have a story that I usually tell in Nashville. I was doing a session, and the lady came in and passed out the charts, the number charts to everybody. Skip me. I'm on the drum. Yeah. She skipped me. I'm like, I need a chart. Oh, well, you the drummer. Why you need a chart? Well, I mean, I actually can read a number chart. I need to know, we're going to the bridge. I can set up the bridge. Right. So You know, and on another note, if you're a drummer, learn how to play keys.
If you are any musician, parents call in on that. Should we take piano? I say you'll never go wrong. Never go wrong taking piano class.
You learn how to play keys. You know, just be around keyboard players, which I was more than drummers. Man, the way that you hear music will be different, and you'll be a different drummer. Like Robert C. Wright, Spud. He's a keyboard player,
and they hear and move different. Mm-hmm. But go back to your chart. Go back to your chart.
Well, the chart. She gave me the chart, and it was just a number chart, you know, telling where the different sections of the song was going. But you know, if we're going to the 4 or 3 or you know whatever, she just didn't think that I knew how to read the chart, that I even wanted one, because in Nashville, most drummers, you know, they don't want a chart. So that's what I would have changed, because I would have got more opportunities with work.
Yeah.
In Nashville, if I knew how to read music and split those up, like you have to learn how to use your ears with reading too, which I never did. I never got to, because I use my ears all the time.
Well, that was one thing I used to hear when I was little. I knew I wanted to play saxophone, but we would go to church and you would hear guys. I would hear this. What key we in? And they'd be like, I don't know. I picked it out.
Fine.
And I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to know.
Right.
So I said, I'm going to do band for two reasons. One, I'm going to learn how to read music. And 2, I can go football game free.
Right.
So I couldn't play. I was super skinny, and you might not see it now, but back in the day I was too little. So I was like, I love football, so I can go to game free. And then I wanted to learn how to read music. And then once I got into the music, I remember, and I tell this story a lot. I was trying to play, and I was at TCD, and Chris Hatchett was playing. Mm-hmm. And I was just starting to play my saxophone, and I said, what key we in? He said, B flat. So I played B flat, which was totally wrong, was not right. He said, little Pastor Cummings, I don't know nothing about a horn, but that don't sound right.
Right.
So I went back, asked my band director. He told me, got me on, and but at the same time, I was quick to know the number system because I knew the scales, and so putting that all in, having places. I had band. I had times where I went over to people's homes. Mm-hmm. We had stuff at school. It was so many different places to learn. Then when I started taking lessons, that elevated me. I had this one moment with this one young lady who came in and played saxophone. That elevated me. And then when I got with Dr. Irvin, that elevated me.
Right.
So lessons, did you ever take lessons?
I did, man. Nah, I never took lessons. My lessons was
playing time.
Yeah, playing. I was in the game.
Yeah,
all the time. So
get on in.
Once I got around 8, 9, and 10, man, I was playing with bands.
Yeah.
But I would advise drummers to get, especially in this area, to get into being tone correct, like. Listen to. I had to learn this when I got to Nashville. You can't play a quartet setup, with a country session.
Yeah,
you got to have the right tools,
the right gear.
Box,
and there's differences in those. There's nuances, because I know I was in a particular gig. They had called me to play, and it was like 60s, 70s, top 40, and I was trying to do gospel lead. And he's like, nah, that ain't the right vibe. Yep. And now, of course, I could read the music, but when it came to improv, I had to figure out how to move. It was different types of saxophone.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the same of the bluesy gospel lick.
Right.
You did the more of the R&B straight tone lick. So it was different. And those come in being in experiences and then having mentors around you. That would help you along the way.
Right.
So, in your plan, who are some of the people that was in your circle?
Man, like I said, I grew up around mostly keyboard players, And then most of the guys that was younger than me, you know, we know the legends around here. You know, James Judon, and Walter Zen, and those. But I kind of met them later, you know, later in my life. But it was a guy. I play open handed, but I'm a right handed. So it was a guy that played with Mississippi Mass back in the day that was open handed. I kind of gravitated to his play.
I always thought you was lefty.
I'm a right handed. I just play open handed.
See, all this time I didn't.
I right, throw, everything.
Really?
Yeah.
I always thought you, because I always saw you. I thought you was left. Okay.
Now I play open. I'm not completely left-handed because completely left-handed people.
They change.
That's crazy. But just having those kind of people around, I was kind of different. Terrence was the first one to hit me to like other drummers outside of like gospel, like Biddy Cataluna, and Dennis Chambers, and I learned about. There was a lot of drummers that I heard and I didn't know their names, like Ricky Lawson, people that played, with Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, those kind of guys. But my influences, man, was really the music I was listening to, because I would study those guys.
Yeah.
I was really big in recording then. I didn't know anything about recording, but I loved studio albums, to where I could, read the credits and see. But in terms of like,
because he would always know, such played on this album. he would always come out, such played this thing on this album. Right. I'd be like, okay. And then I go look them up, man, put it down. Yeah, okay, put it down.
Yeah, so that was really, who I was following. But around here, man, like I really gravitated to the other instruments, more than just being around, like drummers and stuff. So the fact that my dad was a DJ and I was getting all this different music in me every week, like on a consistent basis. Yeah. My uncle had the record store, like I said, so the old school hip hop and things like that. So when I started actually playing with a loop, it wasn't no different to me than playing with a CD.
Yep.
I never had no problem with a metronome and things like that.
Well, see, that what you're saying is a whole different lane of moving as a musician, because a lot of times people feel like, I got to have this class, I got to do this, it's more preparing instead of getting on out there.
Right.
I know my mom tells a story when the drummer we had at our church was working and I had to play on Wednesday night. And she was like, you better not miss a beat. And I was,
boom, tap.
Yeah. And it was like on the job training.
Oh, yeah.
You got to get it. And they took it serious, but I took it serious because I wanted to be good.
Right.
And then after that, you start playing. So always got to prepare yourself. Sometimes you just got to get on out there and just, because I know we had some students, we had a little performance that came up, and some of our students were like, I don't know. And I'm like, you got to put yourself out there.
Right.
I know you're nervous. And of course, years of us doing what we've done, but still, get on out there.
I mean, it's the environment though. See, it's not just in Tupelo either. It's around the world. The way churches are set up, it's not set up for you to learn like we did. I mean, you know what, you be a professional.
Yeah.
You gotta come in.
Yeah. Well, we're hiring now.
Yeah.
And then it was like, I'll cultivate this talent. I'm going through it now. We're cultivating talent to get there. And I said this, I'll say 15, 20 years ago. I told pastors, a lot of these guys are going to move on. We need to start developing talent. And I ain't saying development like a business. I'm just saying there are people who have a desire in your church, in your ministry. Send them to us so we can help you. And then when they don't, then you get stuck with, I ain't got nobody.
Right.
And then I got to go hire somebody.
Right. Well, you said two really important words in all that. Help you. You send them to us so we can help your church.
Yeah,
Your church.
yeah.
You know, and that I think Tupelo Music Academy is great for that, because you can fill the gap of what's, what we used to have, the way you just in the gym, like you either sink or swim every week though. You don't have a chance to. If you sink, then guess what? Next week you got a chance to swim.
Hey, but we loved it though.
Yeah,
It was
man.
you know,
look forward to it.
I still do.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy playing. I'll go. I practice in my bathroom at home, and because it's just got it bounces. Yeah, it sounds good. And I'll say, because I start practicing Wednesday through Sunday. I'm gonna play every day. So I'll go in there and I'll say, well, I'm gonna be in about 20, 30 minutes and do my thing. About an hour and a half later,
Yep.
it's a passion. I love to do it. And of course, I have to discipline myself, and there's some things that I'm doing now that is definitely different than just playing. But the lane of what we're trying to say tonight is take advantage of just getting yourself out there.
Exactly.
Take it and go and run with it. And I have to say this, the people at our church, my parents, they cheered us on. We wouldn't sound like nothing. Wouldn't sound like nothing. But they cheered us on until we got there.
Right.
And as long as you got someone in your corner to say, hey, you can do it, get yourself on out there. Take the time to listen to other types of music. We were exposed, we were blessed, even though we was in the Sanctified Pentecostal Church.
Yeah.
I was blessed to hear some things, and we're introduced to some mentors. One band director in particular who introduced me to the Yellow Jackets and Kirk Whalum and David Sanborn and Dave Weckl and Chick Corea and all these different types of people that led to, you always heard, you had your top four, like I love Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston and Patti LaBelle and all of them. And because Mama had a very strong background of all types of music.
Right.
And so take that. We listen to it, we put it, we interject it. So let me ask you this, Thad. So with that, moving forward, where do you see the future of musicianship going?
Oh man. The things that's available now is like it's like catch-22, because you can learn, you can have so much available. Then, like I was saying earlier, the younger musicians, their ears are not as good as ours, but they
technical.
But they technical, and they have a lot. They have a lot that they can look up. In terms of YouTube, they got social media and things like that. I would say, it's like we've been saying the whole interview, man. Dig into your instrument. Look, let's play your instrument without any assistance. A lot of times there's, you got a drummer. He always want to play with the drum machine, but you got all them rhythms going, so you can play off beat in the back. Do all the licks and stuff, but play your instrument without any assistance in terms of electronics. That way you learn your sound. You learn how to play your instrument the way when you touch it, it'll feel. You learn all of that by just really spending time with your instrument. Yeah, and you'll get your. That's the only way you get your sound. Don't look at people as much as you are on your instrument in terms of YouTube and people like that, looking at other people and
get your own fingerprint.
Yeah, get your own.
Be unique.
Take things from them. Yeah. Let they whole little vibe. That's dangerous, because you want to develop a sound.
Luther Vandross said this in the interview. He said they asked him about, do you want to sound like Marvin Gaye, this and that? He was like, no. He said, I want to be unique to myself. So if once I start to sing, if somebody had their eyes closed, they'll say, oh, that's Luther.
That's what you want.
Because, now a lot of the music I hear,
it's the same.
It's the same. I don't know. It could be 6 different artists, and I don't know who they are. And it ain't because I don't know names. It's the sound that you produce.
Yeah.
I can very well tell Gerald Albright, Kirk Whalum, David Sanborn, Charlie Park. I can tell they all got
They're all different. Yeah.
this thing. I can tell Dave Welkel from Tony Roaster, from
sure.
It's just from Jason Palmer, from Thad.
Yeah.
Or even when we're playing together, because I know there were things that your hand and foot was so quick between you and Derek Thornton.
Yeah.
Y'all feet were so fast. Oh my God. We knew we could do certain things in the music because of that. Yeah. Or Boosie brought in a different feel on the drums. And just Craig brought in a different feel on the drums.
Right. And that brings in another point, because what you're saying is, and what a lot of musicians don't do now is actually play together.
Yes,
like actually getting in the room.
Yeah.
And just playing, man, without all of the other stuff. Like just, it's just digging the song.
Yeah, let's just play.
Yeah, because I'll tell you one thing, as a drummer, if you get used to playing with a click track to keep time for you a lot, then when you without it, you'll be lost. You won't know what the tempo is in the song, because you won't know that the hi-hat keeps your tempo, not your kick drum.
Right.
You had to learn it by playing without a kick track. But I know it's a different time, but I mean,
and it's good.
Yeah.
I've talked to musicians.
Right.
We using tracks, we using AI, we using all kind of stuff, and it's great. But at the end of the day, when I got to go in to play, I can't take all this stuff with me.
That's true.
I just got to play, and I got to know my instrument well enough to, if I got to go in with a band right now, I got to be well enough where I can't bring all this superficial effects and this and click and all that. And let's just play.
Get the horn, man.
Yeah, get my horn out.
Yeah,
let's do it. With that, I'm gonna wrap it up, because we could go on. Like, I do appreciate Thad for coming down to the Academy and doing this interview. We've been wanting to do this for a while.
Oh, man.
And so Thad, tell him, I know you're getting ready to get back into your plan.
Yeah.
You got anything coming up?
Man, I mean, I'm just getting back into it. I mean, I don't want to tell the world that I'm being out the game, but I've been a little.
Well, I mean, in your situation, we understand, and we understand. But as far as you the passion of music.
Music. Oh yeah, I'm definitely getting back into like studio work and some of the things that I actually started doing pretty much the whole time I've been in Nashville. I worked out a lot of historic studios like Ocean Way and Sound Kitchen and places like that. But yeah, I'm at the point to where, me and Terrence are at the point to where we want to educate, man, and share and just make the young generation better than what we were.
Yep.
And that's pretty much where I am now. Especially in this area, I want to be able to help, as much as I can in terms of musicians actually having other things to make them money too.
Yeah.
Not just the gig.
Yeah.
See, that's a whole nother interview.
Yeah, it is. As soon as you said it, I know it. I shifted it out.
We don't need to go there though, but that's what I want to get at, the way you could go play and minister without having that pressure on your back to get this check, man. Because you gotta, if you marry, you need this money to pay rent. I mean, I've been there.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
You do not want to be. But anyway,
that's a whole nother subject.
Yeah.
Look, we thank Thad for being here. Again, this is Terrence Cummings, aka the Music Master, coming from lovely Tupelo, Mississippi, home of Tupelo Music Academy, Team Music Masters. If you're looking for music lessons from piano and strings and everything in between, you can come to Tupelo Music Academy, all skill levels, all ages. We have students as young as 3 and all the way up to 87. If you are wanting to learn, we are open we have our doors open to you. We have a great team down here. We'd love to assist you. This has been the Music is Life podcast. Y'all be blessed.